We're back again. I'm not gonna say episode 3 because I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing this, but we're back with Jordan Hunter. Man, thank you for stopping past, chopping it up with us.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely, man. We're gonna just go over a few topics and touch on some things.
Sweet.
One of the first questions I want to ask you: is your mom a pastor?
No, my mom's an evangelist.
Okay, evangelist.
Yeah,
okay.
My dad is a pastor. My mom's an evangelist, minister of music.
Okay.
Type.
So, growing up, were you always playing drums at church?
I wasn't. My brother was playing the drums, and I was like a spectator.
We gonna consider that.
You know what I mean?
We go now. I gotta skip to that question now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Look,
Cool.
Because that question was definitely in my lineup. Because we're gonna fast forward, and we gonna have a lot of. No, you good. No, it's good you said that because it goes into like low key my next question. Like, if you're from Baltimore, like you know Nutty, and for the longest, I remember Nutty playing with Andre Nance, with Chris Forbes, and Kevin Marshall.
Yep.
I won't leave anybody out. Tavon, Henny,
Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Morgan used to walk around with the 2480, like. So Nutty was like that guy playing, killing, blah 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 blah. Now we never. Well, I'm gonna say we. Like I never saw you. Like during them times, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Like, never saw him.
Yep.
Even when they were playing for, like, different people, like Steve McCoy, like, so I'm like, yo. So when you came on the scene and it was like, if you heard Jordan, like, Jordan is amazing. Like, he was killing. I'm like, okay, like, who? He from Baltimore, blah, blah, blah. Then, out of nowhere, I'm like, that's Nutty brother. I'm like,
right.
Nutty the drummer? Like, yeah, like, that's his brother. So, back to that first question. So, when you were spectating, seeing your brother play like that, is that where you kind of, like, gain your passion for music, or it's kind of like that's his thing, I'm just here to support him?
Not gonna lie, 100% my brother instilled the passion for music, for sure. Because, I mean, not just him playing, but the music he's listening to, you know what I mean? And, like, just, and the people he's around and how good they are. And it's like, it just really introduced me to the culture of that, you know what I mean? And what's possible. So I was like, and from there, I mean, it's my brother. So I'm like, okay, I have to have some type of similar traits, you know what I mean? And I was in the marching band.
Jesus, you going to all my topics.
My bad.
This is good.
Okay,
go, because I'm gonna go right into it.
Okay,
so
yeah.
You started playing marching band, right? Were you playing snare or quads?
I was my first year in high school. I was playing the bass drum because I started late, but after that it was quads the whole time. Yeah.
Okay, and I see sometimes like you and Chris Howland, you guys are like sending each other marching band videos, like. For a young, because now at that time in high school, were you like introduced to playing drums? Were you already currently playing drums?
I was already playing in like middle school and stuff like that, but nothing at that level.
Right.
Like, once you get to high school, it's kind of a little different.
Exactly. So already playing a little bit when you get to high school, right? What made you want to like, I'm gonna do marching band? Because we gotta be honest, like most drummers, like nigga, I'm not playing no marching band. Bro. I gotta carry this drums and I gotta play a snare drum. I can't play the full kill. I'm gonna wait the concert band.
Yeah, exactly. But that's another thing. My brother was in the marching band, like in the same marching band.
Wow.
In the same school. So
Nutty played the marching band too. What did he play?
He played snare all 4 years.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that.
And it's a funny story because, so in my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be like him. I'm gonna play sports. Like I'm gonna play football. I went to the football tryouts and the team was like just horrible all over the place. So I'm like, all right, this is probably not really what I want to do. First day of school, I'm in the cafeteria, and the band director recognizes me, like, yo, didn't your brother boo-boo? And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, come see me after school. And it was like, what? It was almost like fate, like, okay.
That is funny, bro.
This is obviously what I'm supposed to be doing. And now that I think about it, I was only in the band 3 years. That fourth year, my senior year, I played drums for the choir. That's probably really what started my drum set journey.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. But up until then, it was marching band.
So, in your opinion, do you think that played a role in like you learning rudiments?
100%. I think that's like the basis of my playing starts with marching band, for sure.
Wow.
100%.
Because when people come here and they speak about you, if I'm out somewhere, when people bring you up, that's the first thing people like, man, the rudiment game is great. Like that's the first thing people say, and you attribute that into marching band.
100%. Because in high school, like I said, it was like levels. Like middle school, you kind of doing middle school level type stuff. High school, it's like, I mean, HBCUs or like black schools were doing one thing, but do you have like a whole nother lane of like the the white kids, and like it's just more advanced. And me and my boys started tapping into that, and that just changed my whole perspective on rudiments and like just the language of rudiments.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. It really goes deep. Like rudiments go deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for a younger drummer that's watching this, would you kind of lean them into the direction like, hey, if you get ready to go to high school, it may seem boring, it may seem like, yo, this is like dumb.
Right.
You would advise like, hey, you definitely might want to look at marching band if you want to kind of open your drum vocabulary in a sense.
For that reason right there. If you want to just open your vocabulary, the marching band will definitely help. Well, I mean, any kind of like percussion ensemble would help with that. Even if you were doing, you know, just African drums or something like that. Just something that's past just playing drum set will help you. You know what I mean? It's always helped me.
Okay, so you said the last year you played with the choir. I'm assuming during that time you met Will McMillian.
Facts.
So y'all met in high school.
Yeah, we knew a little each other before senior year, but he started coming to my school, like actually going to the school senior year. He was going to another school, I think, but playing for the choir.
Okay.
So once we started going to school together, yeah, we really kind of linked up. And who else played? Vernon Prout.
He played there too?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. So yeah.
He went to school there or he just played there?
No, he just played there. Because he was a little bit older than us, so
okay.
He just played there.
So during that time, it's you, it's Vernon, and it's Will.
Facts.
When did you guys meet Tyrae, and then when did that kind of come into play?
I think we all met kind of at different times. I met Tyrae through our mutual friend, Ethan Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, Ethan would pick me up after school so we could practice, right? He was just like my coach, my drum coach almost. And at the same time, Tyrae was coming up too. And Tyrae was getting, you know, like digging in deeper to his craft. So we would both get up around the same time, like 3, 4 p.m. at Beacon of Light, Ethan's church. And we would just grind, just anything, like any genre, whatever, like just trying to expand our vocabulary.
Wow.
And I met Tyrae like that.
During that time?
Yeah.
So you went to another one of my topics. This is hilarious. So now listeners, I'm assuming you met Ethan during high school or high school?
I met Ethan through my brother. I knew Ethan before I was taking drum set serious. So wow. I've known him since I was a kid. And it was kind of another thing in high school with Ethan too, where it's like, ain't you Nutty's little brother? Like, whoop, and just kind of took me under his wing.
Wow.
And yeah.
So during your time meeting Ethan, what are some of the things that you learned from him? Like some things that kind of still stick with you to this day, as far as like, of course, the music, but like life, drumming, how to be professional. What are some things that you can attribute to him?
All those things. I would say the main thing is the attention to detail. No matter what it is, if it's life, if it's music, if it's whatever, it's like the details matter. Like the small things make up the big things. So it's like put a lot of focus on that. You know, that's one thing for sure. Yeah, I carry that with me to this day. And we'll always carry it because it's very important. You know what I mean?
Dope, I agree. So going back to yourself, Will McMillian, Tyrae Brown, Vernon, when you guys started playing together, I think I remember, were you guys like, what, 17, 18 around that age? Or?
Yeah, I was 17.
Right.
Me and Will was 17, Tyrae, Vernon,
a little
19,
older.
Yeah,
right.
I think, yeah.
But you guys were playing like grown men, like during that time. This is before you could look up stuff on YouTube.
Right.
This is before any of that. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, like, I think you guys played with Jonathan Nelson before, like at like a conference or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was at the AIM conference. I want to say 2009, 10?
Right.
Yeah.
Even though that's a while ago, how was that experience?
It was a dope experience. It was
Okay.
super dope. I know for me, that was probably one of my first times being in a situation like that where it's like a big artist, like a big venue, kind of a big deal.
Right.
And it was cool to be doing it with my brothers, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so we all, if anybody was nervous, we made each other more comfortable, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was cool.
Now, from the outside looking in, I would say during that time, especially when we saw you guys on that YouTube clip playing for him, like the masses kind of seemed like, yo, like this what they kind of get ready to start doing now. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Was that a thing where you guys were kind of eager to do a recording together, even if it wasn't for Jonathan, just in general to do a recording together? I think you guys have done a recording together too, right?
We did a handful of things. I think we were always just eager because we boys, you know what I mean? We friends first, so it's like we were always just eager just to play with each other. You know what I mean? Like, because, I mean, it's fun off the instruments, so it's even more fun when we lock in. I think that was the main thing, like just being with your brothers. You know what I mean?
Now, is that something that you kind of still aspire to do? Like, hey, I want to like, not necessarily travel with like a not even just a gospel artist, but artists in general, or kind of like at this point in your life, you like I'm kind of off there. I'm kind of like, or is that still something you hold like, man, I want to check it off my bucket list?
I mean, something that's on the list, but how high up on the list?
You're not losing sleep over.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of not.
Right.
I mean, I would love to, but I'm not pressed for that.
Right.
If anything, I would say I look at myself more so as an artist now. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to.
As you should.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of more my focus. So stay tuned.
Right.
By the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
We gonna delve into that as well. If you had to pick 3 artists that you wanted to play for right now and tour with, 3 different genres. You can do like gospel. You can do an R&B artist and like a hip hop artist. Like. Name those 3 artists and why. Like, why would you want to play for them?
Okay. Oof. That's a good question. Let me think. Gospel.
It doesn't have to be anybody current right now. It can be
like just anybody.
Somebody like, yo, I would love to play and travel with this person.
It's tricky. I would say Jonathan.
Okay.
Nelson for sure. But I like, what's my man? Either one of these, Todd Delaney or Todd Galbert.
Okay.
I like both of them. You know what I mean? I would definitely love to do that in gospel.
Right.
Trying to think.
Now those 3 artists you kind of chose from. Is it more of like you said, of course you enjoy their music, but how can I phrase this? Would the Jonathan thing be? I don't want to say a bucket list, but would it be like, what makes that? Because you said his name first. What makes that like? Why would you say his name first?
Because I feel like that's like, it's like the sound of home. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something. It's like a language that you kind of would have to be here to understand. I think over the years, that's kind of what it's always been, and I would definitely love to do that because of that. Because it's like, this is our language. This is what we. You know what I mean? This is how we talk to each other. The other 2.
I'm assuming they make great music.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
And I like their vibe. Like, they just seem like good people. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think I've seen Todd Galbert on a podcast before. He got a dope vibe.
Yeah. That is important to me. Yes, 100%. You know what I mean? The music, cool, but it's like, what type of person are you at the end of the day? 100%.
Okay, the hip-hop genre.
Hip-hop. I mean, it's like, what am I listening to? Party Next Door. He's not really hip-hop, but Party Next Door, I would definitely, that's a bucket list one. Just because his music, I mean, the newer stuff is more chill, but younger Party is like, we kind of spoke the same language.
Right.
Just with his rhythms and his selection, it's like, I would love to play that stuff for sure.
Okay.
R&B. I mean, Party kind of R&B, but.
Right. He's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, he kind of in the middle.
Like Drake. You got SZA, you got, what's her name? She plays guitar. I can't think of her name right now. Curly hair.
I can't think of her name either.
Her.
Her.
SZA, you got her.
Tough. I mean, I think you named it too. Yeah, between SZA or her, good catalog. You know what I mean? Like, that sound like a good time.
I don't know why, but I thought you would say Kendrick because his like the jazz inspiration.
He's another one too. Yeah, I ain't even think about that.
Right.
My mind just immediately went to Party.
Right.
Yeah, but Kendrick for sure. Yeah. Kendrick for sure. Kendrick he has real music. You know
what I mean? It seemed like his music would like keep you on your toes.
Oh yeah. 100%. You wouldn't be bored at all.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. So a quick rewind because you got my notes all over the place.
Bad.
No, which is dope. I think it's dope. So during that time back, you, Will, yourself, Tyrae, and Vernon. Again, this is from the outside looking in, how like we're kind of like the world kind of perceiving it during that time. I think it seemed like Will and Justin, they were kind of like had a relationship where they were shedding and bonding. Like Justin was kind of helping and pouring into him as well. Same thing with Tyrae and Kenny. Same thing with Adam and Vernon. During that time, were you able to like link up with Mike and shed?
Not often, but
not now, but during that time.
I'm talking, back then. Not often, but it was a few times through Ethan where we did get a chance to sit down and play.
How was that experience?
That was awesome, bro. Like, Mike is so talented, but he's also like down to share too. He's not one of those cats that's just so like, I'm so good, like I'm not showing you anything. It's like, yo, he really had the patience to like me, like somebody, and this was early on, like 17, 18-year-old me, like just coming around, like this is Mike Reid, like, and he's willing to, yo, do this, and you don't want to do that because boop, boop, boop.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, thank you for that. You know what I mean? Like, you really didn't have to do that.
Right.
And it's like, so yeah, we didn't really have a close, tight relationship like that, but anytime we did link up, it was always productive.
He was open and important.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
When you see Mike on the run that he's on now, doing the Rihanna tour, doing the Janet Jackson tour, right now, currently on tour with Justin Timberlake, seeing somebody you know from Baltimore, like, what does that do for you? Like, man, like, of course he's older, so I'm not gonna say you came up with him, but we've been in the same rooms, like he's open, like he shared, like you just said before, he shared with me. What does that do to like you as a person to see like somebody you know from Baltimore, like on this kind of run that he's on?
Man, if I'm not mistaken, Mike graduated from my high school too. I think so.
He was Milford?
I think he did.
Okay.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just lets me know it's possible. You know what I mean? It's like people make a big deal about where you are and relocating and this and that. Mike's still here, bro.
That is a really good point.
It don't
because
matter.
The whole thing is now like, you gotta go to LA. You gotta go to Atlanta.
You gotta go to Texas. You gotta.
Yeah, he's still here. He's still homebred. Shout out to Mike, man.
Shout out Mike.
Shout out to Mike. The Beacon. Elliott and I spoke about this. When were you introduced to the Beacon? I'm just talking about from my purview, outside looking in. It seemed like it was yourself, Ethan, Elliott, like the core. And then I believe like earlier on, like, later on, like DeAndre came about. But how was that experience? What was it like? Were you guys like kind of learning, pushing off of each other? Of course, like, you're not just in there chopping each other's head off. Like how was that experience?
It was literally like college. You know what I mean? Like, it would be days where we come in there and we drums set up looking nice, and Ethan would be like, we're not touching the drums until we sit at this computer, right? We'll sit down and be like, well, what are y'all even trying to get good at? You know what I mean? Or what is like a goal that we can set to actually pursue? So we just not coming in here chopping each other's head off. It's like, so whether it be playing, I don't know, like the clave groove or like certain shuffles and stuff like that, it's like, it would start with almost like coursework at
so
first.
Do like paradiddles.
You know what I mean? Or whatever it would be. If we want to dive into rudiments that day, before we go to the drums, let's actually sit down and figure out like what we like, really, really go hard on that part. Like I said earlier about the attention to detail. It's like no wasted time in here. Let's really sit down and structure a plan. So while we in here for 6-7 hours, it's not just wasted time. You know what I mean? Like before you leave, you couldn't play this, but by tomorrow you got it. You know what I mean? But it would be stuff like that. Like, what's something that's so difficult that you're not about to sit down and get it right now. That's what you need to work on, because that's obviously gonna make you that much better. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was good stuff, man. Of course we played all day and night, but that was one thing that really stuck with me is like, before that part though, like have a plan. Like what are you know what I mean? Like what are you working on? Yeah, like what is the plan? Like what are you even interested in? Like let's start there. How you feeling today? Are you feeling like a shuffle? You feeling like some Latin? You feeling like some African? Like what? Now let's dive in. Like where did it originate? You know what I mean? Like who are some of the top players and stuff like that? So it was a lot of that. It was, of course, it was days where we did go in there and it was just ham. Right. 7-8 hours, just ham. But majority of the time, it was that. It was educational. You know what I mean? It wasn't just bashing. It was like, let's really understand what we're playing. You know what I mean? Like slow it down, like way down, dissect it. Like, all right, flip it. Now start it here and start it on this beat. The same thing, but same phrase, but move it here. It's just like a lot of that. A lot of that.
Is that where you met Elliott initially?
I don't remember. I was so young, bro. It's like I would see people in passing, but you know, I'm Nutty's little brother, so I ain't really in the mix. I'm just kind of like,
right.
But I think I knew of Elliott, but that is around the time we first started really, really like getting close, getting to know each other, because we in the trenches together. Basically, it's like neither one of us can play it. It's like, but by the end of that week, we both playing it, and it's like that we got tight through that. Like, yo, it took some hours, but we came up a little bit this week. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think the Beacon was around the time me and Elliott got close for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, like from you, like you said, you guys coming up together, kind of working the kinks out during that time. How is your relationship now with L? Like, do you guys still talk? Y'all still like, hey, let's get up and share. Let's go over some stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's my brother to the end for sure.
Now, we talked a lot. We talked a good portion about you during the interview. What are some of the things that make L special to you as a drummer? We know he's a great person, but you know, I feel like all you guys have something that's like special. Like, what do you think is like? I
told him the other day, Elliott, I don't know if he's like left-handed or ambidextrous or what, but he plays stuff.
He does.
And I'm like, yo, you're literally doing magic. Like, how are you even doing that? Yeah. I told him the other day, I'm like, yo, the stuff you play is like magical sometimes. Because me sitting here, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Like, what even was that? So that is something about Elliott that probably I love the most. It's like, his mind is just so creative when it comes to the drums. I'm like, it's crazy.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, 100%. And I tell L all the time when he's here cutting a record, or even if I see him playing out somewhere, he just makes everything look easy.
Like, it's magic, bro.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
that goes back to your point, magic. He makes everything look easy.
Yeah,
and I think if you see his face, because he's always so chill, like it seems like he does it with such like less like really no effort. Like, okay,
sometimes he'll be smiling.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, nah, that's hard. Like, what is that? Like, nah, yo, hold on.
Now, I think this is during the time when you graduated from high school, and you started playing at Israel Baptist Church, or were you still in high school?
I think I was a senior, so yeah.
Okay.
I was still in high school. It was like towards the end of my senior year. So
okay.
Yeah.
So thinking back during that time where you're fresh out of high school, or your last year of high school, and you're playing there, that's a pretty big church for you to be, what, like 18, 19, playing it. How was that experience? Like your first Sunday, was it nervous? Was it kind of like, man, it's a big church? And also, who were you playing there with?
I'm about to say, see, I had my brother Will with me, so it kind of felt like home. Like it was cool. I mean, I don't know. I think the thing that was probably the most overwhelming was they had 2 services. That was the first for me. So, but once I got over that might only took like a month to get used to 2 services. Cool. Once I got over there, it was just church. You know what I mean? It's church. I got my brother with me, and I think Anthony Cooley was playing the bass with us.
Okay.
Back then for a minute, and then I think after that, it's my boy Scott. I cannot think of his last name right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a 3-piece for the most part. Yep. 3-piecing it out, bro. Barely had a track sometimes. It was like church, but it was a cohesion between me and Will that just made it go. You know what I mean? Like go a little harder. You know what I mean? It was like, that's what that was like, for sure. Yeah.
What's the name? Where do you play now?
Mount Ennon.
Yes, Mount Ennon.
Mount Ennon.
How long have you been playing there? It seems like you've been playing it for a good while.
For a good minute, man. Like 15 years now?
15 years.
Yeah, I've been there for a
while.
Yeah, it's a great mutual relationship.
That's good, and I bring that up because for younger drummers who are coming up, I think it's kind of like when you're at that 17, 18, your parents are like, you need to get a job.
Right.
You need to get a job. Music is not a real job. For somebody like yourself who's been so successful, of course as a drummer, but as a professional, to be at the same church for that long of a time, being able to sustain yourself financially, like what does that feel like? Did you ever think that was possible?
To be honest, no. I did not know. I didn't really have a real plan, like definitely for the latter years of, you know what I mean? I knew this is what I wanted to pursue, and just however it pans out, that's how it pans out.
Right.
But by the grace of God, it's actually going okay. And like I said, it's a mutual thing. I love my church, and if it wasn't for them being as slick as they are, who knows if I would still be there for 15 years. You know, if anybody would be there for 15 years. So
Right.
it's like, I have to give kudos to them for just being an amazing church. You know what I mean? And for wanting to have me there that long. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of that. Sometimes the situation is out of your hands. You know what I mean? It ain't really nothing that you did, but it just doesn't work out. And it's like, this situation, like I said, thanks to God, is a great situation. You know what I mean? For what I'm doing and who I am, and you know what I mean? My vision is like, it's perfect. So shouts out to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think during that time you guys had like moving parts as far as the band. I think one time Adam was there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, he was there for a while.
So
we actually started on the same day. That's
wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Really?
Me, Adam, and Will were there. That was a time.
So,
yeah, that was.
That's what I was about to ask you. How was it playing with Adam during that time?
Man, Adam is one of those bass players. Like, if you're a drummer, like, you can just chill. Like, Adam he has so much information that all he needs you to do is be stable. But if you go somewhere, like, he's going with you. You know what I mean? It's like,
and I know he's hard on drummers, but anytime I'm talking to Adam, we'll have a phone conversation. He always says, like, man, Jordan, man, he's so special. Like,
bro.
So.
But he was hard on me. He's still hard on me to this day. But it's a good hard though. It's like, it's not, you know what I mean, just picky. It's like, he'll say something, it might cut you in the moment, but on the way home, you'll be thinking about it like, he's kind of at a point. You know what I mean? And that just comes from the maturity. He's older than me, so. I mean, 9 times out of 10, what he's saying has some merit. You know
so when you guys, you said you started the same day, how old were you during that time when you guys started?
Started in, I might have been 20.
20, okay.
Yeah.
So, again, we're talking about Adam coming off playing with Jonathan Nelson. He played with Jason's first record. Then now him and Justin started to branch off and play with Donnie. Like
CeCe Winans, like
exactly.
A lot.
So when he's coming back and he's telling you something like that you said that could potentially like, you know, cut you or hurt you as a 20-year-old, how did you kind of suppress that ego, come back next week and like keep going out like, oh, he gave me a jab?
I ain't gonna lie, it's pure anger. And like frustration, like, I can't believe he said that, yo, like, oh. But after you realize it's right, it's like, you have to examine yourself. Like, okay, so do you want to just be in your own head and think that you're the best, or do you want to actually take heed to something like this and actually apply it and just see, like, okay, yeah, that did kind of grow my playing a little bit or grow my ear a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, but it would originate from just being a dog. It's like, yo, nobody's gonna, if you feel like you good like that and somebody's telling you all your flaws, it's gonna make you be like, what do you mean? But it also makes you examine yourself and really like make sure everything adds up. Like,
and the reason I asked you that question because I know you love to work out. I know you love to box. So I know at heart you are a competitor.
Very much so. Even with myself.
And that's one of the things that I love about you outside of music, that like, you know, the working out aspect, the boxing, like you are a competitor. So it's kind of hard sometimes to turn that light switch on and off. But you're like, yo, what you like? Nah, that was cool what I just did.
Yeah,
like, you know
what do you mean? I mean, especially when it's your craft. It's like, yo, this is me. And it's like, but you have to, I think this is a good point right here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to always stay teachable, bro. Like, the moment you feel like you know it all, it's like, it's a wrap for you. You know what I mean? Because the world is constantly changing. There's always something you don't know or something you could do better. And it's like, just trying to stay teachable. The ultimate goal, I mean, the ultimate thing he taught me was that, like, no matter who it's coming from or who you think you are, it's like, yo, you know what I mean? Because God will use anybody.
Yeah.
Any situation, any person is like, that makes a lot of sense coming from you.
And I saw people, it's like that all across the board.
Yeah.
Even for me, myself, like when I met a good friend of mine, Joe Willett, very knowledgeable. Like, if you know Joe, you know, but earlier on, if you have soft feelings, you won't be there long.
Yeah.
Because he's going to tell you something. It may be sharp, but it's right. But then you kind of take those building blocks and kind of make them your own and learn. So I agree with you saying 100%.
Right.
How old were you the first time you heard Aaron Spears?
Man. That was around that same time, like.
Because I remember the first time me hearing Aaron is Gideon Band.
Yeah, see, I kind of missed that. Like,
really?
I heard Aaron, I think really heard him for the first time on the Modern Drummer DVD.
I'm talking about,
Yeah. That might have been, I don't remember what year it was.
Right.
I want to say 2009, but I'm not sure. But Aaron on the Modern Drummer joint was my first kind of exposure to like. But then after that, yeah, I scoured the internet to find everything. You know what I mean? But I was like, yo, you know what I mean? Of course, he from the area, so I would always hear his name, but I wasn't really familiar with his playing. Like I got on the Gideon Band stuff later.
Okay.
But the Modern Drummer joint, this is around the time he was playing for Usher. It was like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was actually fortunate around that same time to actually meet him in person by way of Ethan.
Wow.
Yeah, like him and Ethan were tight, bro. And he made it a point. I'm not sure if it was the same for Elliott, but to really like connect us all. You know what I mean? Because he knew like, yo, something we can learn from him. You know what I mean? And he's doing it professionally. Like I feel like Ethan always wanted to see us at that level. You know what I mean? So met Aaron through Ethan, bro.
That's dope. That's really, really dope.
Yeah.
What are some goals that you want to accomplish in 2024 going into 2025? Like, what are some things you like, all right, I got to lock in, like, I'm doing this, I'm not playing around, like.
A lot of my own material, whether it be, like, my own music or just being more active on my socials. You know what I mean? I feel like.
Stop going to my next question.
My bad, yo. My bad, yo. My
but
bad.
go ahead, because that's my next question. Go ahead.
I be there. Like,
No,
I be thinking, I be in my head a lot. So
Right.
it's like, definitely that. More of that and just kind of finding my way in that aspect. Because it's like, so many people are active in that space. And it's like, I'm trying to find my way of it. And it's like, just coming to grips with, like, I'm me. Like, just be yourself. And
it's funny. Okay. It's funny you say that because you posted a video a little while ago that went like viral, and people were loving it. And I've heard this multiple times from, like I said, me being in session or me doing sounds with like, man, like recently I'll tell you I heard it, right? And you probably about to laugh. It was like, man, you saw Jordan, the blah blah video he posted, like, man, like, oh my God, like, yo, he killing so bad, like, and he don't even take it serious, he killing like that.
Why do people? Why do people think?
So you've heard that? You heard that as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So when you hear that, like I've heard them all, and when people are saying it, they're not saying anything bad.
Yeah,
like,
that's that video, like their observation.
Yeah, he gon' like. So, one, where do you think that comes from, and two, like, how do you feel like when you hear that?
I think it's because I'm never satisfied. So I feel like when I'm playing, it's like people probably see my frustration or just like whatever it is, and maybe think like he don't really care that much, or like he don't take it as serious. But it's like, no, I really take this serious. That's why I'm aggravated right now, because I'm not. And it's like I don't know where that comes from, or maybe because I take hiatuses sometimes. But I think those days are over. I was just, life. You go through some things in life.
From the outside looking in, and I think that I kind of fell victim to this as well. I think people perceive that about you and about other people when you're not active on social media.
That's very much it.
That's what I think. That's all it is.
It's like, I mean, I have a real life, like a whole life going on. It's like, but I don't really. A
lot of times I'll have a session and I'll forget to post it because like I'm actually really working, and
Exactly.
it's like, I'm like, they're like, man, you still recording? I'm like,
I'm actually recording right now. It's like, what?
So is that something, like you said, that you're trying to be conscious of this year? Like, okay, I need to be more active. I need to post more, because I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it can be a little draining.
I was about to say,
bro.
and not having that type of outlook on it. It's like, that's the part I'm at. It's like, I know it's good and this and that, but it's like, it'd be hard to not look at it like that and not feel stressed out and and just really feel like this is an offering. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't gonna think too hard about it. I'm just gonna do it.
But I'm gonna tell you why I think you don't have that luxury. I'm gonna be honest, because people know how great you are as a drummer, and you from Baltimore. They like, yo, go, go, like you net, like that's. I'm gonna be honest. That's what I really think it is.
It could be. Lord, I hope it is.
No, I'm not being funny. I don't think it's could. I think it's our city. We know how special you are, and we want the world to hear. So we're like, yo, go, push, like, yo, post again, post again.
I literally get a lot of that. Like, yo, all right, now you gotta. And I'm like, dang, do I? It's like, I guess I do.
So it's that weight that you have to carry being from Baltimore, like, because at times we were overlooked, on the music. So like now, like we have like Devon, he's still playing for Eminem. Mike, like I said, he's currently playing. Like now, people like they're pushing you to be like, yo, go.
Yeah.
Like the work is there. Like You're respected amongst other drummers in different countries, different cities. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
that's another person I meant to mention too, Devon Webster, bro. Devon.
how's that relationship? Like, what's your rapport?
That's my
When you
bro.
got-
That's another one I know through my brother. Like, they were actually like friends. Devon was really one of the first people to actually like get me to wanting to play drums. And I mean, we were both young. He only maybe like 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And at the time, like, I might have been like 14. And he came to the crib. He had to be like 16, bro. And he's playing the drums, and it was like out of this world. I'm like, yo, who is this kid? Like, a kid, bro. But he's like a boy, like, amongst men, though. Like, he'd sit down with the grown-ups. I mean, seemingly, it seemed like, yo, you got to be 21. Like, bro, he's like 16 years old, killing so bad.
Right.
And I mean, Devon is another one that, like, high up on the list. I love Mike. I love Devon.
Right.
They both just crazy. And two totally different styles of playing.
Absolutely.
But both of them amazing, bro, to me.
So I think now we're seeing like a lot of people from like our area, like Baltimore and DC, kind of like get jobs at different churches like Texas,
Right.
Atlanta. If you get a call like, hey, we want you in LA playing for this church, speaking on your relationship with your church, because you have such a strong relationship with your church, what's that process? Do you even consider it? Or you like, hey, I've been here for 15 years.
I'm about to say, I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you. It would have to present itself. But more than likely,
Loyalty.
Yeah, I'm big on that. And it's like not even just, you know, for me, I'm just thinking like how loyal they've been to me. So it's like, why? It's not that. Why? For money? You know what I mean? For a location, it's like, it don't matter like that no more. In 2024, when you have the internet, it's like, it's not worth fracturing a relationship over, you know, and who knows? They might be like, go for it. So I don't know. It's tough to say, but it's not nothing that I would just be super excited to like. I love where I'm at, you know? So I ain't tripping.
Last question. When did you start producing and when did you start rapping? And the other half of that question is that when are we going to hear more music from you?
Man, I've probably been producing this whole time, bro. Like,
so drumming and producing at the same time.
I kind of was.
Did it start off like you making your own click tracks, all that kind of stuff?
It started with my cousin had a Triton.
Okay.
This was before I was even like taking drums that serious. You know what I mean? I'm still kind of in like middle school, high school. My cousin had a Triton, bro, and he used to make beats, I guess, or like tracks. And I'm like, it's kind of fire. Like, I mean, I got my own ideas. Like, let me try some stuff. And it's like, he tripping over the floppy disk. And I'm like, yo, I get my own floppy disk. Like, no big deal.
Right.
So it started there. It started there, bro. Like, just kind of experimenting and tweaking. And it's like, I actually kind of do this. And from there, it's just, it was always something like, drums the main thing. And it's like, that was just something on the side. Like, because I'm always around music. I'm hearing music. And it's like, I don't play keys. So I needed an outlet for my music mind in a sense. So it's like, that is where that came from. And it just grew and grew and grew to the point where it's like, I could probably write a song on this.
Right.
And it, you know, it's like, so I would say it's been there the whole time, bro. Like, almost before I started taking drums serious, I was kind of into producing, like on a small scale, like even on like a 5-track keyboard my mom got at the crib. But I'm cooking though. Like I need to get this off. So it always felt like something that was a part of me. But I don't know. It's tricky. That industry is tricky to me. It's like I feel like for me, being a drummer is kind of a little more solid, a little more stable than trying to be an artist or trying to be a producer. Like full time. Like I just don't see it.
And I think it's a different level of vulnerability you have to have too.
Very much so.
And when I listen to some of your music, I can tell it comes from a real place. So what makes you feel so comfortable to tell these stories and be open and kind of let us in on what's going on in your life? And this day of social media where anything can kind of be taken, like, yo, you heard what he said? It's probably about, you could be talking about a whole different situation 3 years ago, but people will kind of apply it to your current day situation. So what makes you, of course you're an artist, but what makes you like feel comfortable enough just to be open and like talk about your experience, whether it be relationships, talking about loss, death, or family members, like.
I think for me, it's like the quality. to me, if it's good enough, like if the music is good or the lyric is good enough, it's like, I don't care what y'all think. Like, I like it. A lot of times that's what would push me to release something. It's like, because I'm hard on everything that I do, definitely. So it's like, if I like it, it's got to be something there. So I would just go for it. I mean, whatever it is, like, if it's the music or the topic, like the song, whatever it is, it's like, if I'm vibing with it, somebody somewhere is going to like it. Or I like it enough to release it. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of stuff will just sit on the drive. Like, I'm sure you know this. It's like, it's cool, and then somebody else will hear it and be like, oh, it's amazing, but you don't love it. So it's like, nah, probably just chill.
Right.
But the ones that you love, and even if nobody else like them, more than likely you'll put them out. If it's coming from that place of just pure art. Like, I'm not trying to sell this and do that. It's like, yo, I just want to get this out for people to hear or not, but just to get it off of me so I can move on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's kind of that for me. That's why I haven't really been in that bag as much, but I do kind of want to get back into that for sure.
Is it difficult for you to wear both of those hats, being because I keep speaking about how competitive you are, which one of them, because I'm the same way.
Right.
So it's like, you know what, I want to make sure that all my I's are dotted, all my T's is crossed when it's drumming, because I want to be competitive. Okay, now let me come over to this bag. Let me make sure that, like, my bar's on point. Let me make sure my subject matter's on point. Like, how is that balancing act?
It's very much that. I mean, I think the two tie into each other. Like, the more, and I tell my boy Ramsey this all the time. It's like,
shout out to James.
Shout out Ramsey. The more I'm playing drums, the more I want to produce, because it's like, that's my home. Like, drums is my home, and it's my perspective on music. You know what I mean? Like,
so drums are still your first love.
Facts. And it's like,
so guys, he's taking this serious.
Oh yeah. Love the drums, bro. I'm a drummer, bro. But
got you.
It's like, that side, I don't know. It's I don't know. I feel like it was a wave at one point in time, and the wave kind of crashed and kind of slowed down because the times changed. And I mean, we were kind of looking at it as like burnout potentially. Like, I was kind of just burnt out, because now that I'm starting to get back into it, it's like, I actually love this. But I don't know. It's not as much pressure on that as it is on drums. I'll say that. Like, for me, it's like,
wow.
Because I mean, I've been probably doing one longer and like really taking it way more serious. So it's like, this should be good. Like, the producing thing, you know, it's a little, what's the word? But I'm not as hard on myself when it comes to that. That's pure just creativity, just get it out. Like, so it's not as competitive. Of course, I'm competing with myself, but even there, to a point where it's like, yo, that's not the point. Like, this is how you felt, this is how you feel. Like, it's over with. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not the only thing you'll produce in your life. It's like, this is just a moment in time. Leave it there. Do something else. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't really get too hard on myself about that. I just always try to make sure I'm enjoying it. Like, at the end of the day, because that's how it started. It started off as something fun, then it kind of turned into like business, and then it was like, it's not really fun no more. You know what I mean? So since it's not my main bread and butter, it's like, I want to make sure I'm having fun when I do it. And when you listen to it, it's fun, and it's like, it don't sound like, I don't know, like from that space of like industry or like whatever. It's like, it just sounds like he's having fun. You know what I mean? Like, for sure.
Now, let's say one of those records take off. Will it be, and I ask people this all the time, is it hard to perform a record that, let's say you recorded this record when you may have been like really going through something tough, or even heartbreak. Is it hard to kind of get back in that mode live to get that same emotion, or it's kind of like it's just in you? It's like, you know what I mean?
I think, like I said, if it's been released, I actually like it. So it's like, I'm probably singing it anyway. Like,
okay, so
like,
you still in that mode regardless.
Yeah, facts. If I had to, for sure, because I like it. You know what I mean? Like, in order for me to record it, like, I gotta like it, because that's another thing. It's like, I can't fake how I feel when I record. It's like, yo, I gotta really kind of feel this way, or it's not gonna come out like that. It's gonna sound forced or sound. So I don't think it would be an issue. I think probably blaze it.
Last few questions. The younger drummers we have coming from our city, when you see some of the success that they're having, whether it be going on tour, relocating, what does that mean? Because I'm pretty sure you met them all. Like, the only ones that I can think of right now, and I apologize if I leave anybody out, I'm just thinking of like younger guys, like younger than Jordan and myself, like JR, Gabe, and who else is like that age range, that age bracket.
that's actually moving around. See,
Yeah.
I don't know people like that either, though.
Right.
That's the thing. It's
Well,
like,
we probably,
yeah.
yeah. I'm not the best with names, but those are the two that I know that are younger than yourself, younger than L. Like, how does it feel when you see those guys kind of, like I said, going on tour and either relocating or moving, really working,
really becoming men.
Right.
Like, I love that. I love it because, I mean, it's easy to get lost kind of in the sauce of it all and just having too much fun and not really, but it's like, yo, I love to see that, like, cats making real life decisions and like really growing up and like, because I remember that stage of my life and it be tough, bro, and people don't understand like where you at and where you coming from, but it's like ultimately you have to decide what you're making for yourself down the road. So I love to see that, bro.
Now, have you got a chance to sit down with either of them before?
Oh yeah, Gabe for sure. Me and JR never really got a chance to sit down. But
Really?
JR, he killing though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. JR's my guy. JR's my guy.
Me and Gabe sat down a couple times. It's like, it's like, bro, chill, Gabe.
Right.
But yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Last question. What would you tell a young drummer who's on his journey? You know, he's trying to like introduce himself to the world via social media. He can play, but he's not getting like the likes he wants. He's not getting the engagement. He's not getting the shares. You know, but he's solid. He can play. What would you tell him? He's like, man, I feel like giving up. Like, what would you tell him?
The total opposite. Like, stay out of the results. This is something I had to learn too. It's like, yo, just do it because you love to do it. Don't stay out the comments. Stay out of the engagement and all that. Like, don't worry about that. Just keep doing it because you never know. It might just take one day for somebody who really matters to come across your stuff and be like, thank you for posting so much. Now I know like what you have to offer. You know what I mean? I'm actually interested in working with you. You know what I mean?
Dope.
But don't be like me and shy away from putting stuff out. It's like, nah, put it out. But the main thing is, don't put it out with like an expectancy of like this, that. That's how you get your feelings hurt. Don't do that. Just do it. Get comfortable. Just giving your offering to the music community. And it's like, leave it at that. You know what I mean? I would definitely say that for sure.
Dope. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look out for some content coming with Jordan very soon. Jay, Jordan, The War Factory, see you guys.
See you.
That was dope.